Well, I tell you, I haven't heard this record in a while. I don't even remember the last time I heard this record. I think maybe when Joe Donovan, when he was on WHAS between midnight to, gosh, 5 or 6 in the morning at WHAS in Louisville, Kentucky. He did a fantastic oldie show, probably the best oldie show I've ever heard back in the 80s and early 90s. That might have been the last time I've heard this record I'm going to play for you. Lost 45 on Billboard's Hot 100 the week of May 13th, 1967. We are on the cusp of the Summer of Love. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, their very first hit record. Wasn't very big, but they got their toehold on Billboard's Hot 100 at number 45. Buy For Me the Rain. I love this record. It's just maybe if the rhythm section, the hook was strengthened a little bit, the song could have gone a little bit higher into the top 40. From the album, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, their self-titled album, they formed back in 1966. Guess who was one of the early members of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band? Jackson Brown. He was with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band for a few months. They started out as a jug band, but they got into the Southern California folk rock scene rather, and they dressed up wearing pinstripe suits and cowboy hats, having that country look, country fine look, folk rock, Southern California folk rock. Biggest hit, Mr. Bojangles, came out later, several years later in 1970, written by Jerry Jeff Walker. And House on Pooh Corner was the follow-up to that record, if I remember correctly. That was probably one of my favorite songs, one of my favorite songs by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And that came out in 71. First paying performance, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. First time they got paid performing. A legendary nightclub you never heard of before, probably. Unless you're from Southern California. Or if you grew up in Southern California back in the late 60s. Place called the Golden Bear on the Pacific Coast Highway near Huntington Beach. Opened in 1923. They eventually closed in 1986, but loads of people have performed at the Golden Bear. Holt Axton, the guy who wrote Joy to the World, performed there. Loving Spoonful, Buffalo Springfield, Seals and Crofts, Ramones, Maria Madore, or however you pronounce her last name. Uh, that was their first performance at the Golden Bear. That was a prestigious nightclub to get a start in for the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. By the way, Jackson Brown contributed a song to their debut album. It was called Melissa. First album by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band did not do well. Peaked at 161 on the album charts in Billboard. On Billboard's album charts for only 8 weeks. But it got them what's the word? They got their foot in the door. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Buy For Me the Rain, at number 45. And it peaked at number 45. Week of May 13th, 1967. It was on Billboard's Hot 100 for 7 weeks.